Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Can you hear me all? You can put in the chat box your comments. So I, if anyone is having trouble with my sound, they can let me know. Okay, so we will begin our session. This is about energy management system. We are from Tulip Technologies, and I'm the presenter. My name is Muhammad Arif Tahir, and I am IoT solutions consultant. With me, Mr. Abdullah Sana. He's CEO of Tulip. A brief introduction about myself. I'm specialized for constructing a solution using IoT, especially for the industrial application, which can comprise of different protocol, different devices, and different system integration. So I welcome you all. There's a chat box. You can put your comments, your any concerns, anything which is not clear, or you can just say hi in the chat box, and we'll be in touch with you. So starting our presentation. Now, what is energy management system? So basically, it is a platform where you can monitor, you can control, and optimize energy. So now we will deconstruct that what is the meaning of each and everything. So when it comes to monitoring, so you can see, you can monitor, for example, electrical parameters, you can monitor the temperature, humidity, and the pressure, and you can monitor the harmonic level. So these are all uh, in the covered under the monitoring. So basically, you might have a factory, for example, or a industry, and in the industry, you might require a mechanism so that you can keep a track of, for example, the power quality or the production or the temperature and humidity. Now, you can also have a control. So when it comes to control, you can have like digital signal, digital input output. You can have a counter to count the production, for example. So that's part of it. Now, uh, there's a saying that if you cannot measure, how you can manage. So you need to have a measuring mechanism so that you can measure parameters so that you can optimize the energy. For example, here on the screen, you can see uh, this system where it was without jacket, and you can have the monitoring. After you install the jacket, you install the insulation, you can review the past data and the new data, and you can make a comparison how much energy saving you're doing. Or for example, this is a motor which is connected to a compressor. This motor has a vibration sensor, and you can keep a track of the vibrations. And after the maintenance, you can keep a track. You can compare the values that what is the reduction or what is the efficiency you have achieved. Now, why exactly we need energy management system? Energy management system is required so that we can have control on energy wastage. So, for example, if we take a simple example, there might be a building which might have, for example, a lighting system, and during the off hours, the lighting is active. So you can keep a track, and you can know from your EMS system that what was the time, what was the running load, and uh, should it be running at that time or no. So that's where you can have the energy wastage reduction, because you already have a system which can keep a track and it can give you a complete feedback. So energy tracking we have mentioned. So you can have a tracking of energy, like it will be in your database. You can access anytime. You can know during the, for example, summer season, during the winter season, what is the consumption. Also, it can help you in future forecast. So if you have, like, for example, upcoming production, you can simply go to the old data and you can check what is the cost, what was the production at that time, and what could be the future forecast. So this future forecast can be related to needs of energy, or it can be related to budgeting. And you can do predictive maintenance. So just before the breakdown actually happens, you can actually predict, and you can do a timely action when the machine is not in production. So you do not, you can reduce the requirement for manual labor, and you can have a system which can give you some sort of alarm. That's also a possibility. Or you can track using the trends, using the charts, like we have seen the example of motor with the vibration sensor. Or you can have, for example, a system where the current values, the ampere values, are directly linked to your system. And in case of exceedance of current, you can simply have an alarm, and you can do a predictive maintenance. Plus, on top of that, of course, you will get a database and you can track the energy quality. Now, what to measure? So we need to know the energy consumption. How much is the energy consumed? For example, you have machines, different machines. Do you have an idea that how much is the energy consumed actually? And we can have a meter at the main distribution board, so that you can keep a track of power quality. If you remember, we have mentioned here the energy quality. So this is linked to this power quality at the main MDB. This will help you to know, for example, if there was a voltage variation at the main distribution, or it was all perfect. And also you can put in the EMS system the number of labor personnel for each machine, for example, and you can put a material cost along with the machine. So if we add all this together, so we have like total energy consumption and the cost of energy, which for most of the industries, it can be 0.2 real. And you can mention how many laborers are employed for those machines, and what is the production duration. Of course, this production duration can come directly from the EMS system, and the material used and the cost of the material. So that is going to give you the actual cost of your product. So what else? You can have a track of a gas, of liquid used versus the production, to know if what is the cost, and also to predict if there is any leakage. If there is any leakage, you can do the you can actually check and do the predictive maintenance. Also, you can keep a track of temperature and humidity for your database, because for some industries which have food and beverage, it require is sensor, which require a system to track and have it in the database, especially for the food application. And what else? So you can actually measure the electrical matrices. So this might include voltage, this might include the current, it might include the frequency, for example, and the power consumption. And also versus that power, you can know how much was the energy consumption. And if you are applying some energy efficiency scheme, you can actually go in the past and in the current value, and you can compare how much was the reduction, how much is the ROI for the actual system. And on top of that, you can do the predictive maintenance. That will be helpful. And you can integrate other sensors also. So that's not the limitation. All what you need is a device which can do the actual communication, and that will be helpful. Now I'm going to log in the system to show you how the actual system looks like. I hope you all can see my screen. I'll put a password. Just give me a moment. I will put the password. Okay, so I hope my screen is visible to all of you. If it is not visible, kindly let us know in the chat section. So I'll begin. This is the dashboard. Here you can see how many are the total number of devices. That's 190 devices connected and 137 devices are online. 16 devices are passive devices, which means they are not offline, but we have deactivated any communication from those devices remotely. And 35 devices are offline due to either device do not have power or the connection physically is removed. And you can see there are alarm. This is the alarm screen. You can click here to view more about that one. And here is the count for the month's total, current month cleared, and current month cancelled. Okay, so what's all this? These are all related to alarms. Now, for example, if I go to any alarm, here I can select the device, actual device, and I can know from the period, I can select the period, and then it will show me all the alarms which are linked to that device. So this is one thing, which is the dashboard. Then you can go to the organization chart. Now this platform is a demo platform. It's connected remotely to many devices, like um, you can say globally, it's connected to many devices. So there are many devices which you can see from here. So we can go to any device, for example, this one. Yeah. So once we have gone to the device, you can see these are the instant values. For example, for voltage, for current, and for power factor. And this is not the limitation. Your device, whatever the parameter your device can give on the online platform, we can integrate. So some devices might have limitation on some parameters, like for example, the total harmonic distortion might not be available in the device. But if let's say there is availability, it can be enabled, it can be disabled. If it has more parameters, let's say temperature, for example, or other parameters, you can also bring it to the monitoring screen. And these are the trends which it makes. So you can do the analysis. This is timely based. So for example, at 7:15, 7:16, 7:17, what are the values? And from here, you can change the values, for example, for the current. So you can monitor that from morning, at what time, what was the value. Plus, you can go to the index value, which will tell you how much is the energy consumption. You can have different counters. Let's say you reset one counter. It's same like car. In the car, you have like different counter for the kilometers. There are at least two counters for the kilometers. So you can reset one counter, you can keep the other counter. So similar is the concept over here. And then you can view the harmonics. If you're concerned about the power quality, you can view the harmonics for voltage and current. And you can have, uh, let's say, if you don't want to see this graph, you can see the actual values. If there are any digital inputs, you can see the status of those inputs. And if there is any alarm, the reactive rate, and also you can enable the carbon footprint. So how much your each machine is generating carbon, you can actually know about that one, and you can keep a track, and it will tell you to reduce that carbon, how much tree count is required. So this was one of the example. Now let's go to the red one. This red one is not connected. You can see the last successful communication was on this date at this time. So it gives you the status that this device is not connected because it's red. There is no communication, and you can know what was the last communication. So this is the complete hierarchy which you can see. Also, it can have a mimic diagram. So you can actually put a map or 3D image of your pictures. It has a lot of library. So based on that one, you can do the uh, graphical integration. So that means you can actually interact with the graphics. Now this is oversimplified, but you can actually have a 3D image of your factory. Of course, it has to be constructed from scratch, but yeah, there is a possibility. Also, if you have, let's say, different factories, it's all around, let's say, Saudi Arabia. So you can have a one platform, and that one platform can be connected to these multiple factories, and you can just keep a track on the map. Now, in this case, since these devices are in Turkey, so it shows here 172 devices. So similarly, you can go to the alarms. Here it shows what was the condition of alarm, what was the time. Even you can have email notification. That's also a possibility. Even the SMS is the possibility. We do not recommend because there is limitation on number of SMS. So once that subscription is over, then you may stop receiving the SMS. But for email, it's quite easy. So, some example of passive alarm, for example, it can give you indication about the temperature. That temperature went a little high. It's not critical, but this is for your information. Then in graphical, you can select a device and you can do check the actual graphical analysis for the period. You can define here the period, what's started, what's ended, and you can then monitor the graphics. So there are other features also like report. You can schedule a report. Let's say you require monthly report or weekly report. You can actually go to the report section and you can select the devices that which device you need and uh, what type of report you need, and you can define the email and it will generate automatic reports and it will send you by email. Also, there is a feature of invoice creation. This is ISO 50001 certificate, which is for carbon footprint. And there are some calculation and other things. So we have the overall idea about this EMS platform, what it can do, what benefit we can take from it. So I hope everything is perfect. Let me know in the chat section during the Q&A session. I will check the chat box and I will respond. Now coming back to presentation. So let's check the chat section if there is any questions from your side. Okay, so I see some questions. First of all, one question about the predictive maintenance, how it works. For the predictive maintenance, you have to define the parameter. For example, let's take an example of a motor. Let's say, to oversimplify, it consumes 100 amperes normally, but when it is going to consume, let's say, 103 amperes. So we can assume there is some friction, which is not usual, and we really have to check the motor, maybe the motor bearing or something related to voltage, for example, to do the analysis that what's actually going wrong. Or let's say the graph of the current is not stable. It's going up and down and it's jumping. So that means there is some kind of mechanical resistance. So we need to take care of that one. So once the machine is off, we can actually check those parameters. So to make it automatic, the predictive maintenance, to make it automatic, you can apply the email function. So once the value is exceeded, it will automatically send you email so that you can take a look at what's actually going wrong. Or you can do manual analysis by the graph, for example. That's a possibility. Uh, Second question regarding the artificial intelligence integration. Yes, there will that will be platform will be expanded for artificial intelligence in future. The R&D team for this platform, they're looking at the possibility, and they're going to update us for this one. Okay, it's mentioned to keep a track of the warranties. Maybe you can uh, generate an email notification based on time. We can check about that possibility. So once the time is expired, you can have a email notification. So we'll check about that possibility. Okay, so the last question. Okay, now this is related to motor. There are many possibilities. If, for example, you have, for example, VFD, so you can actually integrate the VFD with the KIO system. And if there is any disturbance at the motor, uh, you can observe easily. Um, so that's one of the possibilities. Second possibility, that you can have, for example, vibration sensor connected to the motor. If there is excessive vibration or the vibration which is not normal, you can get a clear idea that this is something which we need to take care about. Okay, so one question is asked how to track each motor power consumption if VFD is not installed. So in this case, you're going to install the power meter. It's a small power meter, 90 by 90 is the size, and you can have the CT connected to the cables of the motor. So it will give you value of the power consumption. It will give you value of voltage, current, power, power factor. So all these things will be trackable, even the energy. On top of that, you can also install the vibration sensor. And plus, you can do third thing, which is you can install a temperature sensor with the motor. So these are three things which you can do, and that will be for the protection of the motor. Okay, so I don't see any other question. I'll move then. In the in the end, we are going to have another Q&A session. Okay. Um, so moving on. Now, how to really connect all these devices together? How to make the integration? We got the concept, that what's the concept, what is the bigger concept, and but now when it comes to how to really integrate, it requires some work. Of course, that's why we are here to help you, to let you know what is the effective ways so you can do the integration. So this is like multi-layered. I will take the pen. So starting from device, first we have to do the device selection. So we have to know that what's the device which we are going to use. So for example, you need a power quality device which has a lot more functionality. You need this device not to be at the motor side. You need this device to be at the MDB side, the main distribution board. Once you have this device, you can do a deep power analysis. Also, it will be connected to your system, so you will have the database. Then when it comes to motor, you might not require a high power quality device. You might require a energy meter, which can give you simple values like current, voltage, energy, power factor, and that will be enough for to know that how much your machine is consuming. Then you can put the temperature controllers. So for example, especially for plastic application, like you have extruder machine, it has multiple options to it has multiple sensors integrated, and you can keep a track of those sensors, um, and you can know that what's the value. Just give me 1 minute, I will connect my laptop to power. Okay, all good. So I was saying that you can connect the temperature sensor and the temperature controller, and you can connect other devices. So other devices might include pressure sensor. There are pressure sensor, for example. There are vibration sensor. You can just name that what is the sensor, and there is a possibility for integration. It can be integrated to weighing scale also, so you can keep a track of the weight. So that's also a possibility. So uh, I have categorized into wired connection and wireless connection. So this is the wired connection. And this might be using the Ethernet cable. This is one of the possibility, or it might be using the RS-485 cable. So you can have like multiple devices connected. And there is also a possibility of wireless connectivity. So for the wireless, right now we are using LoRaWAN. Just to give you uh, uh, one point, it's not for critical applications. So we need to just remember that it's not for the critical, but it saves a lot when it comes for non-critical applications, when we don't have to put the actual cable, and it can do a long distance connectivity using wireless. So after that, the next layer is about the gateway. So if, for example, it's just an Ethernet connection, we might require just a switch. Um, and again, there is other possibilities also. I will discuss that one. Let's say there is RS-485 cable, then we require a gateway which can convert into Ethernet. Uh, Again, for the wireless technology also, between the slave device and the master, there will be wireless connection, but from the gateway to the GSM, to the main interface for the device, it is going to be wired. So that's going to be from Ethernet. So at the end, you have a device which can just connect to different gateways, um, and it can collect the data, and from that point you can connect to the computer. So you have option. It can be wired option using, for example, Ethernet cable, or it can be using 4G signals, GSM connectivity. And lastly, for the interface or for the platform, you have two options. You have one option that it can be on-premises server, so you can have your server which is within the factory, or you can have a computer, for example, within a factory, and that will be connected to the system. So that means no one from outside they can have the connection for this network. It will be local. So it's known as on-premises. There is another option which is cloud-based. So you'll be connecting to the IoT cloud, and on that cloud, you can access your devices from anywhere. So just to make things simple, if you are targeting, for example, one factory, then on-premises system will be suitable. But if you are targeting IoT solution for different factories, which are like all across Saudi Arabia, or it can be outside Saudi Arabia, then we can recommend you the cloud solution. Um, so you can have just one platform to access all the factories. Now, uh, we will go through uh, each components. So for the devices, already we discussed, there can be electrical meter, energy meter. There can be controllers for temperature and humidity. There can be counters for production count, for example, and there can be third-party controllers. These can be, for example, flow sensors, which can do the communication. It can be weight indicators. You can just name any device which can communicate, and it can be integrated. Now, regarding the connectivity of the gateway, there are different options. So for the physical layer, you can have RS-485. It can one single cable can be for 700 meters. So that's little less than a kilometer, but that's the range it can cover. And in one loop, it is going to be 31 devices. If you have more devices, you can have another loop. This will be daisy chain connection. So daisy chain connection, I will show you. The connection which is over here, this is known as daisy chain. So that means cable, it will go to another device, then to another, then back to the gateway. So that's the daisy chain. Or there is another possibility. You can have Ethernet connectivity. That's also possible. In case of Ethernet connection, it is going to be star connectivity. So at the middle, this is the server, or or we can say the switch, and these are the slave devices which are connecting to the switch if it has option of Ethernet cable. So the length will be like 100 meter. So that means each device is going to be connected directly to the switch, and the maximum length you can have is 100 meters. This is known as star connection. Um, yep. So that's about the physical layer of Ethernet. Then for the wireless, it's LoRaWAN technology. For the LoRaWAN, within the factory, it can cover around 2 kilometers. So this is going to be wireless connection. But just let me remind you, this is for non-critical applications. It's a slow connection. I mean, the refresh rate with the LoRaWAN you can expect to be around 5 minutes. That will be the refresh rate, because that's how this protocol works. Then for the communication, we have different options. It can be Modbus, it can be MQTT. So that's a over generalized picture. Of course, at the site there can be different requirement, which we can take care of that one. We can let you know how it's possible to integrate with the system. But this overview is like, we can say like in 90% of use. So this brings us to the final stage, and just let us know if there are any questions before we close the session. Okay, there is one question that let's say if you have existing PLC system, SCADA system, how it can integrate with our EMS system. So if let's say you have PLC system, it has something known as OPC. So this OPC is designed for all the well-known, all the known brands of PLC. Majority of the PLCs comply with OPC requirement. So this, what is OPC? It's basically you have a PLC or you have a SCADA system. It cannot communicate directly to another platform. So in between, you have OPC. You can have an OPC server. This OPC server will help in integration. So our platform, IoT platform, it supports OPC server communication. So what need to be done? The PLC need to be enabled with OPC server. Once it's enabled, we can have the addresses on that OPC server, and from there on, we can connect to our EMS system. Okay, regarding the automation, so question is asked that how it will be helpful in automation. This system is designed to keep a track and keep a database. The system is, yeah, I mean, that's the scope of the system. So for automation, no, it's not designed for that one, because for that operation, PLC is much suitable because it can have some industrial protocols like Profibus, for example. It has very fast refresh rate. The PLC has very fast refresh rate. So we recommend for the automation part that will be part of the PLC and the SCADA system. But if you need like online monitoring, then yes, IoT system, IoT platform is perfectly suitable. Okay, and now another question is about the cybersecurity measures. For the cybersecurity, we have to take care of that one uh, during the stage of gateway. Uh, this is one point where we have to take care. And another point is the platform itself. So the platform is KIO platform. Okay. So this KIO platform, it can have a two-stage verification to log in. That's one possibility to prevent the hijacking of your platform. Another thing that for the gateways, these gateways, and they are certified for the cybersecurity, and we have technical support for that one, which can enable the cybersecurity. So this part can be covered. And regarding this LoRaWAN, um, this is relatively new technology. It started in 2015. It's quite robust, and it has something known as network key, application key. So this protocol is designed to be uh, like uh, uh, it can be very secure, and it's not possible to hijack these devices, because each device will have its own network key, application key that is unique to the device. So it will be not easy to really hijack these devices. And also we can, during the commissioning session, we can enable some protocol in this one, which will refresh the keys after you can, let's say, reset the device. It is going to refresh the keys. Okay. Um, Okay, regarding the EMS system integration with the existing ERP, uh, for this one, let us communicate with our KIO team, and then we can let you know the possibility. So you're saying that if there is API support for that one, no problem. We'll get back for this one. We'll inform you how it can be done and what are the requirement of KIO. Any other questions? Okay. So in the chat box, there is one form. This form, you can fill this form, and you can have your training certificate. Um, so I would like to thank you all for your presence, and um, it was we were delighted to see you all, that you all attended. The contact details are on the screen. You can contact hello@tuliptechs.com, and you can send your inquiries. I will be happy to support you. You can give us the details. What are your requirement? And based on your requirement, we can tailor the solution. So thank you so much for your presence. We are here for like next 5 to 10 minutes. If you still have any questions, we are waiting and we'll respond. To collect the certificate, you can fill the form. This form is in the chat box, and you will get a certificate.